Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second half of Week 7, Day 1 for the Heroic League of Season 6 of FOF. We've got a hyped-up matchup right here, right now, RLS versus In the Trees. These two teams at the top of the standings. I'm Ultravox. I'm here with my teammate Zen. Zen, what do you think of this matchup right here?
Well, I think that this is the matchup of the night to watch. In the Trees, with a W today, will secure their first place spot into playoffs and get that round one bye. Really late sign up, on the other hand, with the similar record, doesn't have the head-to-head. They're looking for revenge in this match. If they can take a win here, they can still steal that number one spot and also prove to themselves that they're ready to face this team as we approach the final stages of this match.
Yeah, I understand that In the Trees has been struggling a little bit here, but hopefully this is their chance, to also come back. There's a lot riding on the line. These two teams, like you said, have a lot to prove to each other, and so that's why I totally agree with you. This is the matchup to watch. I cannot wait to see how this game plays out. But for this draft right here, we got a Hecarim first pick, responded to by Nautilus and Diana. We're seeing an Ezreal and a Yuumi almost immediately locked in for RLS as well.
I am so excited to see this Yuumi pickup for RLS as a character that has seen some success both for RLS and their sister team, SLR, has played it to some effectiveness. And this is a character that can really be empowered by teammates that have additional movement speed. So things like the Ezreal for Tef and Hecarim for War Leader are going to really enable that character to really pop off. Meanwhile, In the Trees, throwing down the gauntlet, Samira picked up for Kenny Hammerspike.
Yeah, I gotta say before, I think you put together a string of words that's never been constructed into a sentence before. You said, I'm excited that they picked Yuumi. And that really just is interesting there. You're excited about Yuumi.
Listen, if Yuumi won't pick the cat, if the team named after the cat won't play it, we got to get it somehow into the league, and I'm just glad that RLS is picking it up. Meanwhile, though, we're moving on to the second half of the draft here. We got Aurelia ban taken away from Anti, absolute favorite pickup for him, so they're going to throw that one away. And now thinking about their second ban for In the Trees. RLS, though, on the upside of the map, throwing a lot of bans towards jungles and mid laners, trying to prevent Bow Explode from popping off and Evolve Noob from really taking center here.
Yeah, Bow Explode's been performing quite well on In the Trees. I do notice that they're not playing Brock Lee today, unfortunately, which I do think is one of the best players in all of Heroic. So In the Trees playing without that guy. Instead, will have to find their way to success against RLS here. They're locking in the Ornn as the blind pick top lane. They're reserving the counter pick for mid lane if that Diana's not going there. Technically a two-way flex.
Yeah, I like what Team in the Trees has put together. They have a very clear game plan so far, which is go forward, dive, take the fights that In the Trees is so well known for taking. They're a really aggressive team led by Bo Explode to try and, literally explode across the map. So they've drafted towards that strategy. Meanwhile, RLS, with the counter pick, it's going to be a Mordekaiser lock for Anti once again. I believe it's the second time we've seen that this tournament, and a new pickup for him, and has certainly added a new dimension to that top lane pool.
Yeah, I think it's a great counter pick here. It's traditionally an Ornn counter pick as well, so very well suited to this matchup. You're able to Death Realm Samira, Diana, just take them out of the team fight, make sure they can't get those impactful team fight ultimates that they're looking for. Big fan of this, and it's also going to be an Annie in mid lane for Cowrie. That is going to be the blind pick. Azir hovered, 2 seconds left. They gotta lock it in. There it is. Now, as a mid laner yourself, what do you think of the matchup?
Well, I can tell you that having played, in previous seasons, playing as Azir against Civil Lock's famous Annie, I can tell you that matchup can be extremely dangerous to play into. With a flash ultimate from Annie, can 100-0 Azir at any point in the game. However, Evolved Noob's Azir in particular has looked quite good. It's a consistent pick for him. It's something that he's always felt comfortable on. And as we approach the later stages of this game, one thing that I'm noticing about this RLS team is they don't necessarily have incredible backline access, right? Most of these characters are sort of mid-range, and are going to struggle to really push through the Ornn outside of a Mordekaiser ultimate. So I actually think Evolved Noob is well positioned in this game if he's able to scale up out of laning phase.
Yeah. Great analysis there. Have to see how it unfolds, how they're going to be playing this game. Let's go ahead and jump onto the Rift here and see how the two top teams are going to be duking it out.
Oh man, I'm curious to see if either team wants to do any sort of spicy level 1 plays, because INT, they have drafted a composition that can absolutely pop off, particularly if Bo Explode manages to get ahead early. So the question is, are you willing to commit that coin flip at level 1, or are you just going to prove that you're the superior team, expect, your standard play to be enough against your top of the line competitors?
Oh, I think they got a coin flip, but it's the wrong team that seems to be doing the coin flip, and they're just stacking. Okay, I actually do respect that. They're making sure that they're not going to get taken advantage of by the Nautilus hook coming in from He Who Slops. No opportunity there. Instead, INT just chooses to fan as well, playing defensively. No real information gained from either side as a result. So junglers are going to have pretty much free reign. These are two very fast clearing junglers, and I think that it would behoove both of them to start on top side and make their way towards bot. I think that especially so for Bo Explode, you're able to take advantage of the incredibly strong laning presence from Samira Nautilus. You get down there, start that rolling versus Yuumi, and don't let Tef and Escape have room to scale up.
Yeah, well, it does look like both junglers are going to be starting opposite side, but I want to comment on the stack for RLS. One thing that Yuumi can struggle with in particular is Yuumi is not a particularly good level 1 defender of a bush. So I actually really like the stacking, right? Because normally you'd want to do a 5-point fan and have all of your entrances covered, but Yuumi has, reduced move speed and doesn't have an ability to escape. So playing for the stack is actually probably a safer play for them, and I'm really glad that they're making that kind of an adaptation with the characters that they have.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Definitely thought about it, definitely discussed it beforehand, so smart play already off the bat from RLS. They know what they're doing, they know what's going on, and so they will continue to, not get too pushed here in the beginning, but He Who Slops finding the first hook here. A little bit of damage from Kenny Hammerspike, and that could bode well for the bot lane of INT. They are the beat down here, they are the ones that need to be the aggressors. We gotta watch them as they hit level 2 off this wave.
Yeah, it should be any moment here. Tef and Escape, of course, seasoned veterans in the bottom lane, also playing in the Mythic League this season. They know what's up. They're going to immediately back away and play to safety. Now, we are getting to the point where both junglers are about to make a major decision point. What do we want to do as we finish up these first clears? Bo Explode maybe has an opportunity to come up to this top side as Anti's wave has not fully crashed yet. And I'm curious to see if they're going to try and commit to that play. Anti desperately trying to shove this in.
Yeah, I think he's got it. I think he's able to do it. Those Qs are going to be hitting those minions pretty hard there. So Bow Explode probably continuing this full clear, just making sure that all of the CS possible is collected. Diana, of course, clearing super quickly. Hecarim doing the exact same thing, and might even be able to help defend versus INT, who are starting to get a pretty solid push in here down at bot. Really got to see how this is going to progress, but yeah, Bow Explode, he finishes the Krugs. Ward there will spot him out, and they will start pinging him. They know he's there. He can't quite make a play, instead going for the crab.
Yeah, 3:20 on the dot when those junglers finish, and you can immediately see both teams have already warded out, so they're used to the standard play. This late into the friend or foe season, it's harder and harder to get surprises on your opponent, just because they have the tape, they can watch what you like to do, and so both junglers gonna fail the first attempt. But look at this.
Oh yeah, Anti didn't respect the return after the crab here, and he's going to start to get walked out, but look, it's a beautiful claw to try to pull him away. Bow Explode has another dash, though, flashing forward, lands another Crescent Strike. They're getting under the turret, too. It's a flash away from Anti, who's trying to survive. Bot lane from INT able to get away, too, and I guess Anti lived through that entire thing. Double flash committed and no kill found.
Yeah, and Anti as well, taking the teleport, and Jeff's minion wave is still crashing back. So actually, fantastically played by Anti. And it's going to net him an advantage that's more than just the flashes burned. Really good stuff. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, we saw He Who Slops getting in a little bit of trouble in this bot side, and that flash is also burned. So RLS now has a lot of different options for where they want to take the game and what sort of advantages they want to push. They're going to want to return to those lanes where those flashes are burned.
Yeah, those could be potentially pretty easy ganks. On one hand, it's support flash, who cares? But on the other hand, free kill. Let's go. Let's see him take advantage of that. So, yeah, I definitely agree. RLS, lots of different things they can do. One thing that they can't do, though, is have a Predator Annie. Cowrie in this matchup decided to take Comet instead, which is very interesting to me. I would think that maybe you want to get out onto the map versus Azir, start impacting things quicker, because you're at threat of getting outscaled. So, pretty interesting and impactful choice here.
I mean, I think that one of the advantages that Annie has as a character is that she's somewhat flexible in the laning phase, because you do have that burst damage available to you. You're not just like a control mage who has to like poke people out. So I think with the Comet, Cowrie is signaling, I just want to kill you when I hit level 6. I just want to flash, I want to land the Tibber stun, and I want to full combo you with a Hecarim on top of your face. And I think that's a respectable way to play the game, because as we've already identified, Evolve Noob is a threat to this team, and your options for dealing with it are either leave the lane and go somewhere else, or just be better than your opponent. And I like Cowrie's confidence with the rune choice.
Yeah, outskill your opponent with a flash and a click on stun. I love to see that one, but yeah, Evolve Noob has to respect that one. Has to watch out for when Cowrie is 6, which is right now freshly based as well. Teleport available, but not going to be used. Instead, we see War Leader getting a little bit aggressive, getting some early vision. He's got Escape strapped to his side. Going to be taking away this crab as well. Gets hooked in by He Who Slaps, but it doesn't matter. And he will secure the crab, potentially signaling an early dragon for RLS.
Yeah, and you can see RLS, so far everything working quite well for them. Anti doing phenomenally in the counter matchup, has already amassed a 10 CS lead, and you can see that he's already putting out so much pressure, just keeping Jeff pinned to this tower and completely out of mana. Jeff going to need to teleport at some point here to be able to regain that. And so RLS is making the most of their early proactivity to try and get additional vision down and maybe start to threaten these neutral objectives like the Ocean Dragon. They just, sort of peeked in there to get that vision, and consider it, ultimately decided against it to go back to power farming. But that initiative is really important as we approach the middle stages of the game.
Yeah, I think this first dragon is going to be pretty significant as well, because INT, I believe, is significantly favored in the 4v4 minus the top laners, of course, right? The first early game, level 16 fight, I think they're going to crush it. So I would like to see Bow Explode start getting down here. We've seen Kenny and He Who Slaps have the push almost consistently, just nonstop, taking advantage of Ezreal's poor wave clear. Since they have the priority here, I think that it would definitely be a good move to go for this dragon.
Yeah. As we say that, Bo Explode makes a visit down on that bottom side, just gonna find a pink ward for his troubles, but we see War Leader is on the opposite side of the map, so this is an opportunity for INT to maybe get something started. It looks like we're instead gonna go for a bit of a counter jungle here, and maybe, oh no, they're going straight onto the dragon. Pink ward is on it though, so it's up to RLS to respond.
Yeah, and it looks like War Leader's looking mid, taking advantage of the opportunity, trying to find the window onto Evolve Noob. It does not occur though. Instead, yeah, just some light counter jungling in exchange for the dragon. And if you're INT, you're going to take that every day of the week. Dragon stacking is a legitimate win condition for this team. Ezreal ultimate, ooh, almost got it, but not quite right there. So secured by Bo Explode. And it sends INT to this good path of, artificial scaling, really. If they can get this soul, that's going to be big.
Yeah, I mean, I already think INT with the Ornn items is the better scaling team. So to delay the possible dragon stacking from RLS is absolutely massive. And, credit to Bo Explode here, doing a really great job sort of finding, as much as they can on opposite sides of the map as War Leader. Not only going to take up that dragon, also going to pick up red buff, and I think is going to be up a camp here, if I'm not mistaken, after War Leader finishes off the Rift Herald. So a great trade for INT.
Yeah, just that those little advantages are what's going to squeak you by. It's going to be finding this ward as well, potentially looking for the dive on the RLS bot lane. Ezreal plus Cat, pretty vulnerable right here. It's a flash forward from He Who Slaps, pretty delayed on the ultimate, but doesn't matter. Cleanse comes out, Tef flashes away. He Who Slaps getting pretty low, heal, not enough to keep him alive. First blood secured though by Kenny Hammer Spike. Cowrie on the other side of the map will go down as well. It's Evolve Noob finding the kills. War Leader running straight towards Kenny, who is now all alone after the deaths of their teammates. Slides through. Can Kenny get away? He's going to be able to escape under the turret.
No way.
War Leader's taking some power shots.
No way!
No escape, stuck into the turret too. The Cat's all alone. Shot in the face by the Inferno Trigger. Kenny Hammer Spike finding the double kill delivered to him on a silver platter.
INT coming up huge all over the map. 3-0 for Kenny Hammerspike on a snowballing 80 carry. Absolute disaster for RLS. They take a fight in the bot side. Cowrie gets Shurima shuffled under the mid lane turret, and all of a sudden, they've got a huge amount of initiative. That's got to scare RLS a little bit. They got to be thinking about how they can bring the momentum back into this game, and people are looking mid.
Yeah, He Who Slaps, the target of this play. War Leader trying to chase him down. Hook brings him towards the blue buff, where he's going to get joined by his teammates here. But War Leader, he's got some speed, got the zoomies, able to get right on out. No real danger there. But yeah, Shield Bow already completed for Kenny Hammerspike, and that is scary. If you're Ezreal Yuumi, definitely not what you want to see. He Who Slaps walking forward. Nice buffer from Tef. Freeze, not initiated by INT's bot lane. Definitely something they could have done there to further choke out Tef and escape, but they do not opt for it.
Yeah, I will say, looking at this game, RLS is doing a good job of just playing the lanes well. Even though we have this massive discrepancy on this bot side, it is equally matched by Anti going up 25 CS in that top side counter matchup. So, the gold track here is still fairly even. Ooh, Kenny Hammerspike did not want to take that turret shot. That is rough. We'll be able to sustain that up eventually, but that's
he's
a
got
tough.
red buff too. He's fine. He's fine. Yeah. What are they gonna do? Yuumi ult him? They have no summoners either. You can't kill him through shield bow. It's fine. But War Leader again looking mid. Evolve Noob getting some nice poke now that the Ludens is completed for everyone's favorite Emperor. Looks like War Leader's gonna be going in at the same time that He Who Slaps finds a hook. Oh, all these things are so close to coming together. Especially around the bot side. Consistently good buffers from Tef.
Yeah, Tef's doing a great job keeping both themselves and Yuumi alive. That's one of those very stressful points whenever you're playing an AD carry. I feel like I'm just constantly being judged when I have a Yuumi on me. They're just watching me and they're like, if you fuck up, I'm dead. Pardon the language. And so, Tef doing a great job showing no fear, just able to execute time and time again. And here we go. We got the second dragon spawning in a minute, so this is about the time when both teams would like to consider recalling, decide whether you want to fight for this dragon, what your item spike is going to be. And Tef's looking for the recall here, so they're going to commit that, but they're losing a lot to do these resets.
Yeah, especially in the plate department down on the bot side. Cowrie taking a lot of damage as well. Needs to get that base off before Dragon. This could just be going over to INT uncontested. We saw from the gold graph that Kenny has about a 1k gold lead over Tef here, and Anti only 500 gold above Jeff. So far significant in the bot lane. Oh, the depth charge, but the 80 carry already backed. You don't have that ult for the Dragon fight now if you're going to go do it, so it's a little tough. But it doesn't care. He's just walking forward. Look at him, absolute Giga Chad.
Yeah, it looks like they're going for this play top side. Ultimate misses.
That's too bad from Jeff. They're just gonna be hitting the turret. They're charging him back under, starting to take the turret shots. Jeff's pretty tanky though, and Anti.
What?
He's taking the turret shots. Jeff flashed away. War leader kill, but he will be going down to the following turret shots. That was a pretty sloppy dive right there, and it does result in kills traded over, plus this Dragon going down as well. Ooh, very interesting.
I cannot believe that Jeff misses ultimate, misses E, and still trades 1-for-1 with a Rift Herald drive. That's crazy. But INT, like they're making the right moves here. You know, they're trying to counter stuff on the map. I think that War Leader really needs to be more committal about these attacks that he's trying to make. He's had a couple of opportunities, like looking in the mid lane, trying to catch the Azir, and now in the top side as well against the Ornn. And it just feels like the plays are just a little bit too slow to eke out that huge advantage that you'd hope the Hecarim could find.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. It looks like War Leader's just kind of flopping around right now, really struggling to decide what to do. And you take a look at his camps, they're basically all up as of right now. Of course, he's starting to clear out the top side, but that farm differential is really starting to show itself as Bull Explode pulls ahead with almost a 20 CS lead in this matchup. War Leader, Hex Gate's in, he's going to be able to blast going out, kind of a precarious spot. But yeah, falling behind very quickly here.
Yeah, I mean, that's not to say that Hecarim can't be useful. I really like, the pickup on this team gives RLS an extra dimension of ability to start a fight, which is fantastic for Cowrie. Annie is not a character that has the range to start something, but has a fantastic follow-up ultimate if they're able to, follow CC. So I really like that. Meanwhile, look at this. INT once again on the objective game, immediately on the second Rift Herald, just going to try and pick this up. All members committed here. Anti going in.
Pretty damn clean. You love to see it. 4 men in the top side, and Anti's going to get knocked up, rolled around. He pulls somebody into the death realm. Bull Explode wins the 1v1. Cowrie's going to be here. No stun quite yet. Lots of damage, though. Shurima Shuffle pushes him into the pit. There's the Ornn Horn to follow up, steal the kill. Escape now. Lonesome by himself goes down as well. 4 kills for nothing for INT, and that is devastating.
INT are making such smart moves around the map. You can tell that this is a practice team that really pays attention to those objective timers. And unfortunately for RLS, they're just a little bit late to the play here. Cowrie not having the full stun. Look at Noob, though. Might be in trouble.
He failed his E. I feel like Tef can just flash and walk him down, but it doesn't do it. Oh, my God. That could have been a nice little shutdown in the pockets of the RLS 80 carry, but no commitment there. It's just too bad. RLS is just letting this game slip through their fingers. Ezreal ultimate flashed away from by Evolved Noob. Okay, so there's that at least. But yeah, RLS, they're not finding too much here. They're starting to let it slip.
Yeah, I mean, War Leader coming up to this top side trying to get stuff done, but that's a level 12 Ornn with Mythic completed and Anti's stuck farming. And this commitment to this top side, I like the initiative to try and get something done, but this is going to open up this bottom lane. And INT just seems to be getting more on the cross map plays every single time. Cowrie, though, shows themselves.
They're going to be hooked in, rooted out. Bull Explode potentially looking. Anti's on the flank here. Pulls him in with the claw. Gets knocked up, though. He's rooted. Does not have the depth. Great shuffle to push Cowrie back into the team. And another kill follows as Anti goes down. Bot lane from RLS, the lone defenders of this turret, and it won't be standing for long in the trees. Trying to get in. There's the Ornn Horn called in. Tef knocked up. No hook. Yumi ultimate to disengage. War Leader also riding in, trying to prevent them from walking forward. A lot of damage across the INT squad, but they're ultimately successful in their push.
Yeah, INT has just looked so decisive in this game, time after time, just immediately picking up the play, and extending it as well. They find a pick in that bot side, anti-TPs into a spot where his team can't support him. They kill that, and they get the extra kill with the Shurima Shuffle. Evolved Noob has looked very, very good on this Azir so far today, and I think it's something the teams are going to have to look at moving into playoffs, because this guy isn't just a Victor player. He's got a pool of characters that can really support his team and enable these aggressive players like Bo Explode and Kemi Hammerspike to pop off.
Yeah, you love to see it. INT, they look so coordinated too, able to keep on finding these plays, just play together when challenges face them, like dealing with anti-STP, whatever does approach them, they seem like they're able to handle it. RLS, just no footholds here. The third dragon will go down in INT's favor, and it's going to be Soul Point here on a Hex Tech Soul, one of the strongest too, so INT grasping control of this game and carrying it, further snowballing it.
Yeah, and as an RLS fan, I would love to see Cowrie and War Leader try to put things together. These are the playmaking champions on this team. The stuns and fears are really crucial to try and turn around a game state like this. And so far, Cowrie hasn't had that big Tibbers ultimate that we'd love to see, that, massive change or team fight changing cooldown just hasn't quite landed yet. So RLS is going to need to maybe enable this Annie out of the side lanes and try to come and put things together. I say that though, but look at INT's vision control in this bot side. It's absolutely insane. They have so many wards on the map right now. It's actually gross.
Yeah, big props to INT. That is just gorgeous to see, lit up like a damn Christmas tree. Now 20 minutes approaching, Baron's going to be spawning. It's a very real threat for INT to take this. They have such a fast take with Azir as well as Diana. Looks like they're just going to be strolling on towards it. No real way to contest this. Cowrie just back. Teleport might be coming up soon, though. Anti the staunch top lane defender will still be there. They're going to take a little bit of damage of it. Bo Explode finally commits over the wall. Does seem like they're starting it up.
So this is Hexgate map, so it's possible for RLS to get here faster than usual, but again, look at this vision control, and Anti can't even approach.
Yeah, it gets knocked up by Jeffus. There's the
here's
hook.
War Leader.
It's real ult is pretty unstoppable onslaught straight to the back. Damage. There's the kill on the Kenny Hammerspike, and things could be turning around for RLS. Look at the Tibbers damage as well. Bo Explode goes down. Tef. Oh, it's wide open. They can look for as much as they want. It is Ezreal's playground. It's a double kill. The arcane shift forward towards Jeff. Meanwhile, to the side, it's going to be Cowrie finding a kill onto Evolved Noob. Anti trying to get in onto Jeff. He's got the speed from the zoomies. Don't think they're going to be able to find it, and that just changes the course of the game right there. What a miracle fight for RLS.
Yeah, this is the danger of RLS's team composition. They catch you one time. They catch Kenny Hammerspike out of position, and they can make a huge play. Jeffas, though, he wants more, and Kenny Hammerspike's back on the map.
Yeah, this could be very interesting. Jeffers is just going to walk right up. I don't think this is how you want to play this. He's just getting in there. He's tanky, but not tanky enough. Pulled into the death realm. Kenny Hammerspike's all alone. He stopped the Baron, though. They're respecting so hard here. Just the lone ADC from INT. Oh, Evolved Noob teleported in. I feel like they could have just gone straight onto Kenny there. Look at how aggressive Evolved Noob is being. Instead, this could immediately turn back around as the recalls come in, but doesn't look like INT wants to go for it. They're going to take mid priority, decide what to do. Oh, another quick recall. Bo Explode's getting in on the Anti, though. Pulls him back with the ultimate, the Moonfall. Starts to DPS him down. The Nash's Tooth doing a lot of work there. This mid turret, the next target, as the mid jungle duo rides in from RLS.
Yeah, what a crazy turnaround of events. Committing double teleport, INT somehow staves off the Baron. I honestly can't believe it. After Cowrie finally had that big moment, lands a huge Tibber stun. That in conjunction with the magic resistance shred from the Baron makes a huge difference. And now, I mean, I feel like this game is anyone's to take. INT still holds a slight lead. They do have, that dragon stacking online, and this Infernal Soul is going to be important in the next minute. But RLS has proven that they can take a fight, and that's a big, big deal.
Yeah, it's showing that they have the potential. The game is not over yet. They are not going down without a fight, and that is something you absolutely love to see. They are not rolling over. They still believe in themselves, and God bless RLS. Maybe they can do it. It's a total uphill battle. It's going to be a long road. They're well on their way now. Tef now 4-1, 250 gold bounty on their head. I disagree with their build, but you can't deny it's 2 items with the Mana Moon completed. Looking like it could be pretty good.
Yeah, 18 seconds left on the Baron. Let's take a look at resources. Anti has access to the teleport, whereas INT, of course, committed both of them. So he's splitting in the side lane. If this conflict goes long, RLS can maybe get an advantage. That said, giving up the choke points to this team is incredibly scary. So yeah, I really like this. You're going to teleport in early, and this is a hugely important battle. If RLS wins this, they can turn this around and maybe take 2 turrets mid lane. If they lose, they might be out of the match.
Yeah, now both teams are in river. INT kind of letting RLS walk up pretty far here. Evolve new tagged by the slow. Just waiting to see who's going to land the first little bit of CC. There's the depth charge in on a Cowrie. We got to watch Kenny here. He's not stunned. He is rooted, though. Taking a lot of damage. Slides out towards the back. Shurima Shuffle tries to keep everybody safe. There's the Inferno trigger. Drop down. Anti able to find a kill. Cowrie's the next target for INT, though. Tef and Escape trying to kite it out. There's the slow. Cleanse to make sure they can get away. Anti found by Kenny Hammer Spike. Kenny managing to stay alive throughout the whole fight. Big credit to him. INT able to take this one as they start up potentially the final dragon for them. Tef and Escape are sticking around.
Evolve Noob has recalled, so this is a 2v2 battle here with no smite.
This is so tense here. Kenny could be looking for it. They got to respect the knockup from Ornn as well. Tef's just kind of free-firing on them. They're not getting any damage in return. Kenny's in. He will get in onto the kill, but will go down as well. Escape is the next one to fall. Teleport right in the middle of everybody. It's Cowrie. They're rooted out. They're taking a lot of damage.
Man.
TP is not what you want to see if you're an RLS fan. War Leader also in a bad spot. 2 baited in by his teammates. Now the Dragon Soul is going to go in favor of INT, and the gap is widening.
Yeah, 5,000 gold now, plus an Infernal Soul. INT comfortably ahead on the scaling of this game, and they're maybe looking for more. With 20 seconds left on War Leader's death, they might be able to get some more stuff done. Jeffaz has the teleport available if they want to push either this mid lane, or perhaps even look for another Baron contest, but this game is slowly falling out of RLS's hands.
I think they definitely could have just run straight to Baron there. I think they had the timers to do it, but it's not going to be happening here. Instead, they're going to play it safer, take the mid priority, look for an opportunity to base, spend some money.
You say that.
Yeah, instead, it's going to be War Leader getting hooked in. He who slops, finding the CC. Anti on the top side. Finds himself in a 1v2. Kenny Hammer Spike does a lot of damage, able to slide in, take him down. War Leader also going to fall. Is this the Samira pentakill dream? Cleanses through the stun from Cowrie, putting the damage in, finding the crits, blocks the Yuumi ultimate. Now Tef finding some damage, but how much will it be? He who slops is out of mana, has to start crawling away. The Hextech Soul slows Tef down, though, dissuades them from pushing any further forward. And Baron is next on the menu for INT. Now they find the opportunity to do it, to take down the worm.
Yeah, INT has just looked so dominant, and mostly due to their decisiveness, right? Like, I think you look at a couple of these plays here, and it's not clear to me that INT had a solid advantage in that topside jungle play, but they have the confidence to go for it. And, at this level of play, that's a huge deal when your entire team is committed to make stuff happen. The results speak for themselves. They've earned themselves an 8,000 gold lead by being proactive, being the first ones on the objectives, the first ones to be willing to scrap. and now it's on RLS to try and stop this monster push. 3 items completed for Evolve Noob now. This Azir is just a siege machine.
Yeah, 3 items completed for Kenny Hammerspike too, alongside the QSS there. The carries from INT are fearsome indeed. And you gotta respect the engage here. It seems like they're just walking forward, taking down this turret, supported by the Baron minions. Will go down, and they are very happy to find that. No real wave to rotate to, no bot lane setup, but they're walking down there now, striding, clad in the soul and Baron buff.
Yeah, and INT, willing to push this advantage. I actually really like what they're doing. They're staying grouped as 5. You would think that maybe splitting up the Baron buff would be an effective strategy, but their team is so gosh darn strong in these 5v5 team fights that they know they want to leverage their advantage. Now it's on RLS to try and hold here if they can.
Oh, he who slaps drops so low. He finds a hook, but not going to result in too much. Tef able to get away from the depth charge there. It's a little tongue twister, and push continues from INT. Evolve Noob getting aggressive, finds a little bit of poke. Cowrie has the stun charged up, but can they commit? Don't want to look too hard here. Instead, focusing on clearing out the waves. The bot lane inhibitor has fallen, but they're able to defend the mid one.
Yeah, great blue ward there from RLS. Sensing the spidey senses, not quite sure where INT backed off to. You want to make sure that they're safe. Now sieging onto this mid lane inhibitor, so this is still a 4v5 for a little bit of time. RLS maybe have an opportunity here, but it's so scary to fight into this team.
Yeah, Tef just firing off ult after ult. Wind wall down. Here comes the Ornhorn. War Leader just pushed out and obliterated, though. It is not looking too good. Anti-drag Jeff into the death realm here, but it looks like Jeff's actually going to be winning this one all by himself. Pops out straight into the waiting arms of Evolve Noob, who finds that kill. And now the Nexus looks like it might be a tasty treat for INT as they continue their rampage. Calvary misses the Timbers, and Kenny Hammerspike doesn't miss a single bullet. Getting in, getting these kills, taking down Escape, the last member of RLS to fall as they take down the Nexus. INT securing their first place spot.
INT permanently. INT is now locked for the first place because they have the tiebreaker against RLS. So even if INT loses their next match tomorrow and RLS wins their match in tomorrow as well, INT have secured their place because they have 2 tiebreaker RLS W's. Wins their match.
Okay, great. Thank you for the clarification.
INT have secured their place.
There it is, first place, locked in. It's gonna be gonna be looking pretty good if you're an INT fan. They're gonna be sliding through. There it is, first place, locked in by. Gonna be looking, man, what a game! Just so dominant right there. Let's check in who we're gonna send in for the interview. It looks like it's gonna be Jeff, who's the top laner. So we'll see what he has to say as we transition over to that.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Friend or Foe after our exciting Game 3 of the night where we competed for the first slot of the Heroic League, locked in for Team INT over Team really late sign up. I had to remember which generation we were on this time, which timeline. But anyway, I am joined here by the bot lane support player, He Who Slaps. How are you doing? How are you feeling after your win securing first place?
Evening, everyone. I am feeling good, though I'm gonna have to say it's not that unfamiliar of a feeling. I'm gonna have to be honest.
Yeah, you know, like I mentioned a little bit, it must feel how it did back in Season 2, because, you know,
Oh yeah.
if I remember my lore correctly here, even though INT competed in Season 4, I don't believe you were with them during that time, is that correct?
Oh, the FOF lore. Yes, I was absent for that season because I had I had to focus on school. I was in the middle of a... There's some events going on. I was in the middle of a transfer, so I had to be absent, much to my dismay and much to the team's dismay. Though I'm here now,
Correct.
and what value that brings, I hope it brings a lot.
Correct. The secret sauce diff was in fact He Who Slaps. That's the
Oh
difference
my
between
God.
first place and I guess was it fourth place last time? I don't remember, but that's what it must be. So let's go ahead and talk about a little bit about this game, how it played out for y'all. Let's talk about draft firstly. If I look at your team, besides Bo and honestly, I think just Bo, this seems like a pretty standard INT draft. Champions are all pretty comfortable on. Is that a fair statement?
For the most part, yes. We have Mia Nahus, we have Samira, we have Azir. Bo's been trying to Diana because I think she's in the meta right now. I don't pay too much attention to the meta. As far as I can tell, she is quite strong at the moment. At least when I see Bo on it, it seems that way. So I think that's why we picked that. But for the most part, we just take what we can get when it comes to our power picks and just build a team around that. In this case, I think it was mostly engage and scaling.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be the way that we can see a classic INT move. And when you look at the way RLS drafted, I mean, it looks pretty different, from my opinion. So I'm kind of curious if you guys expected some of these champions to come out. I don't think the Yuumi is very typical of Escape, but I think the Horde or Hecarim is like the only like staple that I would imagine from these guys. But as far as your draft prep for them and how it worked out and what you were ending up going against, how did it play out in your head?
I think you're correct in your assessment. I haven't seen the Yuumi. I don't think I've seen Yuumi at all in this in the matchups I've been through in this league. I'm sure they did it mostly to try to neutralize the bot lane. As you can see, we have the Summon also very aggressive bot lane versus Ezreal Yuumi, which is a very defensive bot lane, one that likely would be able to survive if the Ezreal was able to space out correctly and Yumi's able to just poke us out. Unfortunately, it looks like that's not how that came out. A couple things went haywire in the execution of that plan, I think, which caused us a snowball, which is exactly what we wanted. For the rest of the draft, I can't say too much about the top lane. I don't look on that side of the map, but the mid, it was... Oh, I've forgotten about the game already. I don't remember
It was Annie versus...
Oh, the enemy mid was an Annie.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that one either. I mean, Evolve commented on that one too. He used to play that as well. So I'm pretty sure he knew the spacing and was able to play around it quite well. In fact, I think Evolve played very well this game. Now that my memory's coming back to me.
Yeah, that was actually one of the points I was going to ask you about. You know, Evolve kind of coming through a little over halfway through the season. Looked like he needed to get his leggings a little bit, but however, this game was an absolute monster. You know, his Azir definitely seemed to do a ton of work, and especially in your guys' early game, you guys getting the 3 kills on Samira early must have been really good. So talk to me about how this early game like power shift just full throttle through for you guys.
Oh yeah. So I think things for a little bit, because of the defensive nature of the enemy team, we weren't able to secure like a very fast, very early first blood, which I felt a bit uncomfortable on, but no one else mentioned, so I think it was just part of the deal. But when I think the big turning point that I mentioned when things went haywire was that dive by Hecarim on the bot lane with the Yuumi attached. Can you can you kite them real good and just was able to get a double kill fine. When it comes to our mid laner, he was able to get some, I think one, maybe two, I'm not sure about two, but I know he at least got one solo kill and was able to secure that. Getting those kills on our carries just allowed us to snowball and finish the game with a very easy dragon sweep and Baron take.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely one point I kind of want to make, but before I jump
Sure.
to that one, let's ask about this. The Baron play definitely seemed like
Oh,
the
that was
sloppiest
contention.
point for you guys in that game. So, kind of talk to me about how that started, and then what kind of happened with the teleport plays that came after. You know.
It was a bit of a fiesta, wasn't it? I think that was I found it fun. But what happened was we felt strong. We thought that we could just win the fight outright if we just went for the Baron and bum rushed it. We knew that they were aware. We thought that maybe they would have hesitated a little bit, but they were moving towards us pretty quickly. So what happened was that there was a split. I kind of trolled. I'm gonna have to take the blame on that one. Both the tanks decided to go and try to beat the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser pretty well equipped to survive against tanks, specifically because of his passive and healing. He was able to just delay me. The enemy team was able to catch out the Samira, pop him, make sure he wasn't able to touch the ground, all that. Well, what happened after was interesting because we were able to, since our AD carry died first, he was able to show up and just deter the enemy from being able to take the Baron outright because they're all quite low. They were afraid of him, which is nice and good. Eventually we were able to get the team back together through Hex Gates and TPs alone, all the way back to Baron, but I don't think we took it immediately then. Both teams decided that, nah, this probably wasn't the best play to go for. But I think, yeah, we did eventually take it later, which
Correct.
brought the game to
Correct. Eventually, you did go ahead and put the maracas away for your fiesta and grab the Baron. So definitely worked out. But my next point here, I think I have to word this very carefully. I don't want it to sound flamey, but if I look at that game, I don't feel like that is the best version of RLS we've seen in a while. They definitely seem to kind of like make they weren't on the same page, I guess, is what I'll say, you know. And I was kind of wondering, from your perspective, was that the level of competitive match that you were expecting coming into it?
There were a couple hiccups that they made. I'm sure that there was a very sound plan behind those plays, but the execution was a bit off. They could be tired, they could be going through other like out of game things that mess up the execution. But honestly, I feel like their actual game plan in draft and in game was actually quite sound. Just they weren't able to pull it through, and us being a very snowbally comp, we didn't let once we were given the lead, we didn't let it up, except for that one Baron fight, which I think could have put them back into the game, but it just wasn't enough. I don't think.
Fair enough. Then that's pretty much all I have to say about that match currently. But, you know, like you said, you've already secured first place. You've got your match tomorrow. It's going to be versus Team Wash, and traditionally, I think RLS kind of like, or not RLS, traditionally INT in this position likes to play around a little bit. So is there any spicy leaks we can maybe look forward to tomorrow in this draft? Or
I wasn't told anything specifically, though it's possible that we said something, but I wasn't paying too much attention because I was busy playing double up with our mid laner. I can't do any leaks. I think I'm notorious in our low team for doing the biggest leaks, unfortunately, so it's possible they just kept me out of the loop there. I don't pay that much attention either. Yeah, that could be it. But I'm sorry to say that I don't have too many leaks to give at the moment. You're gonna have to wait till tomorrow.
Right on. Well, in that case, if I don't see Jungle Blitzcrank again, I riot. But
Okay.
on the side note, looking at our last match of the night, it's going to be Cloud9 versus Team Wet. Any predictions of that match?
How's Cloud9 standing again? I don't pay too much attention to outside the INT games, but as far as I can tell, I feel like, without saying too much, there is a very likely outcome with that game.
That is correct. There will be a match, and there will be a winner, and people will have to push buttons on the keyboard, I hope. But anyway, we'll go ahead and leave it at that for you. Any final thoughts you'd like to say before stepping away?
None at the moment. Oh, wait, the Zillion. I want to play it. I love it so much. Can we please stop banning Zillion?
Listen,
I know Cloud9 let it through once, and it was a bit of a bait, but please, I want to troll my team with Zillion. Force our draft into Zillion, please, it's so much. I need it so hard. Coping. I'm sorry.
It's okay. As much as I think I'd like to see that as well, I've been a big fan of your Zillion. I think there's just something about an FOF about certain players in support roles never getting their champions. Poor Aether, Mapes, we salute you. However, it's just not going to happen.
Oh yeah, I don't expect it to, but I am still going to keep hoping.
Perfect. Right on. Well, thank you so much for your time, He Who Slops. Congratulations once again, for securing first place in the Heroic Playoffs. We cannot wait to watch you and INT perform in the semifinals in about 3 weeks. And with that, we'll be stepping away for our final game of the night, where Team Wet versus Team Cloud9 will play off. We'll be right back.
Bye bye.